This CyCast is provided to you by the Iowa State Letter Winners Club, bridging the gap between legend and legacy by engaging in our past to invest in our future.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our latest CyCast, and we have an outstanding guest in Victoria Henson, who is one of the greatest volleyball players in Iowa State history, first-team All-American, and led the Big 12 in kills multiple times, and is now an Iowa State Athletics Hall of Famer. Welcome to the CyCast, Victoria.
Hi, thank you.
Well, what did you think, and what was your reaction when Iowa State Athletics Director Jamie Pollard told you that you are now been inducted to the Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame?
I was shocked. I didn't expect it. I didn't see it coming. So it was a really nice surprise, but I still couldn't believe it. I was sweating.
Well, you definitely deserve it, Victoria, because you helped build this program with Christy Johnson Lynch, to heights that no one ever saw could ever happen in Iowa State volleyball. But let's kind of start at the beginning. And we had talked earlier where you kind of started out as a basketball player, and how did you get interested in volleyball as your high school career went on?
I did volleyball to just still be active. It was a sport to do, and otherwise, because volleyball or basketball season wasn't going, so it was something for me to still do to be active, that and track. And so my freshman year, I'm pretty sure I was playing high school ball my freshman year, and this lady actually approached my mom and was like, has your daughter, ever played club, or has she thought about it? So that's kind of how I got into it. So I played club that my freshman year of high school was my first experience, and I didn't know what to expect, but I'm glad that I did it because that's ultimately where I ended up. But I mean, I really thought basketball was going to be my sport, like I played in college and so forth. So I was surprised that I excelled as quickly as I did in volleyball. But
yeah, and obviously Iowa State head coach Christy Johnson Lynch obviously noticed you, and at that time she had just started at Iowa State, and she had just taken over a program that had been struggling. What made you believe in her and her basically her process where she could turn this program around?
Just her as a person, I absolutely loved her and Dawn. Talking to them, I felt comfortable with them and going there. I never would have thought I would have ended up in Iowa, but I mean, from past visits that I've had, Iowa State was my favorite experience by far. And it has a lot to do with Christy and the coaching staff there and Joe.
Yeah. Well, and when you first got to Iowa State, you actually sat out as a redshirt, and we had talked earlier. How much did that help you in your progress? Because it was probably good for you to maybe sit out that first year, because you had said earlier that you kind of started out as a middle blocker, and they were going to put you in a new position at outside hitter.
Yeah, I was a middle all through high school, and they recruited me as an outside. And I mean, I didn't know much, a whole lot. I knew very little. And so, I mean, having that extra year was very nice because I got to be a sponge and soak up all the technique that Dawn would pour into us when she would work with us, and as well as Kirsty. And so, and I say Dawn because Dawn was an outside, so we would spend a lot of time with Dawn in practice, and her intensity is insane. But that year it was challenging. Of course, no one really likes to sit out, but it is what it is, and you just try to make the best of it and just work hard and compete, and hopefully that next year you're earning your way into a spot. So
yeah. Well, and obviously you did. You earned your way into a spot, and then fast forward to your sophomore year in 2008, where you're first team All Big 12. You led the Big 12 in kills. You're All-American. Special year for Iowa State, but there's a couple matches I want to talk about. One was the match against Minnesota that got you in the Sweet 16, where you broke the Iowa State NCAA record for most kills. What do you remember from that match?
Oh man, it was electric. It was an exciting match. I think going into that match, I actually kind of had a little bit of Like I was nervous a little bit, and I'm not someone that gets nervous when playing. It just never happens, but I did kind of feel it a little bit. But once we got going, it was fun. It was a great time experience with my teammates and, the Cyclone family. So I couldn't even tell you. It was a really cool thing to accomplish as a
Yeah.
team there.
Well, then the next match was even bigger when you have number 7 Oregon, and that photo of you guys celebrating is one of my favorite photos in Iowa State history. I mean, how much did that win to go to the Elite Eight? I mean, think about the magnitude of that, because 3 years earlier Iowa State probably I think won like one match in the Big 12,
Hmm.
and just kind of tell me how the feeling of the team when you accomplished that amazing feat in Cyclone volleyball history.
Um, Everyone on that team, I think they just have good energy. They score a point, they're pumped and excited. And I was always that person that kind of lacked that excitement, I guess,
Yeah,
when I played, because when I look at it as work. It's fun, but it's just like I'm competing, and I never have those moments of like, jump up and down. So like when that happened, I think that was probably one of the first times I felt like excited and like ready to jump up and down and hug everybody. And I didn't really get a lot of those feelings throughout my career there. So that's something I remember for sure, when we just dog piled.
yeah.
So that was really cool.
Once again, we're with one of the greatest volleyball players in Iowa State history, Victoria Henson, and now Iowa State Hall of Famer. Your junior year, Victoria, was just as good. In fact, if that team was probably one of the best teams in school history. 17-3 in the Big 12, which was unheard of for an Iowa State volleyball team at that time, and the most wins in school history with 27. Talk about like you just made the Elite Eight, and then your team took it to another level the next year.
Uh, I'm so not good at talking to
You're
media.
you're fine.
I
I'm
can
not
never
media,
find the
Victoria.
words. Um, that was an awesome year. That also, I feel like that might have been the year. No, that would have been my senior year. Um,
Well,
Sorry, I'm like,
no, that's okay. One really amazing match happened your junior year was the Nebraska match,
yes,
where
yes.
at the time, number five Nebraska, and 5-set marathon in Lincoln, and it was the first time Iowa State had ever defeated Nebraska in volleyball, especially with Christy Johnson-Lentz being one of the greatest players in Nebraska history. What do you remember from that match? I mean, I can't even imagine what that would feel like for both Christy and the team to get that win.
Oh man, that was there was a lot of people in the stands that day. And it was really cool to be playing at home and see actually we were at Nebraska that
Yeah,
day.
it was at Lincoln.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it was really cool to go through that experience. I believe actually I'll never forget this. Kaylee vomited in her jersey. We had a super long rally in that match, and I'll never forget. She just puked.
But she
But
probably
that's
never missed a step, did she, after that?
Yeah, no, not at all. Kaylee, she's a beast. I mean, that kid, I absolutely love her just as a person and as a teammate. I think she's amazing. Till this day, she's still amazing. But
Yeah.
that was a fun match to be a part of for sure.
Well, speaking of Kaylee, I mean, Victoria, you were blessed with amazing teammates, and I can't name them all, but I'll just single out Kaylee Mans and Ashley
Hmm.
Moss just because they're also two Hall of Famers as well, like yourself. What was it like to have that? I mean, you could argue that it was the greatest talent in Iowa State volleyball program history to play with the best libero in the league, to play with the best setter in the league. What was that like for you?
That was so. I mean, they're those two. I mean, I don't even have the words for them. are very talented, and I mean, they deserve everything they've accomplished and then some. They're just amazing athletes. And I knew Kaylee prior to going up to Iowa State, which was really nice to have because she was my roommate in the dorm. So it was nice, having known her prior to going to school there. And then, I mean, she's awesome. I love them both. They're amazing. I don't know what else I can really say about them. It's just,
yeah.
I mean, Moss is a beast, and it's weird saying Ash because we would call her Moss, but like, she's a beast. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't have asked for a better libero or a setter. I mean, Kaylee was amazing. So to be able to hit balls off of her, it felt good.
Well, and obviously you're going to be joining them in the Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame, which is a wonderful, wonderful honor for you, Victoria. As an outside hitter, that's a tough position because you're getting a lot of balls set to you. What was the mindset of an elite outside hitter at that level in the Big 12?
Well, when I first got there, like I said, I didn't know much about being an outside hitter. And, I always thought you just want to go up and try and bounce a ball, straight down it. And I learned very quickly that you got 6'5" girls across from you, that's not the mindset, because I will go and try and bounce a ball and it's coming back at me 10 times faster with the block. So, I just think that there's never a bad set, I guess. As an outside hitter, like I said, I felt like it was a job, and it was like you do your job, no matter where the ball is on the court, like you're still being aggressive, you're still swinging it, and take it as a gift when you get that beautiful set, that beautiful pass, that beautiful set, like that's great. But, as an outside hitter, sometimes a lot of the balls you might get are an out of system ball, which is a hard thing to do sometimes. So I think it was just still, having an aggressive mindset. No matter what.
Yep.
When slinging. So.
Well, Victoria, as a senior in 2010, you were first team AVCA All-American, which only the second Cyclone at the time to ever be a first teamer. You led the Big 12 in kills for the second time, and you ended your career with the most kills in Iowa State history with 1,726. Did you ever think about the records that you broke and all the amazing awards that you got at Iowa State?
I did, and it wasn't until, not long ago, honestly, is probably when I started thinking about it, but that was not something at the time I thought about, but I am surprised. I keep thinking, oh, somebody's going to break it. Somebody's going to break it. And watching and following, I watched this girl, last name was Holthouse, I think.
Yes, Eleanor Holthouse, yep.
Yeah, she is a stud, and so I was like, oh, she's probably gonna do it, but and then watching this year, I don't think I pronounced her name right, Nayeli. Yep. I think she's going to be amazing, so I'm excited to follow her career, and if she breaks it, that's awesome. Like, that's a great accomplishment. And I'm grateful and thankful that I've accomplished that goal, but it's also kind of the anticipation of saying, all right, who's next? Who's going to do it? So.
Absolutely. Victoria, when you graduated from Iowa State, you did play briefly in a professional league, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And it was called the Premier Volleyball. Is that what it was?
Yeah. Yep.
How did that go for you? And what was that like, to play professional volleyball?
Yeah. So the first place that I actually went to Slovakia.
Okay.
So I played there, and we won the Slovakian championship. So that was cool. But then, yes, there was the Premier Volleyball League that they started here, and it was really fun to play because I got to play with familiar faces that I played against in college. one of our teammates one year was Brooke Delano from Nebraska, who's
Yep.
one of my good friends. I love her. So, I mean, it was cool to kind of get back and see familiar faces and play. So it's something, you're still able to play volleyball at an older age. So that was nice.
Sure. Well, and obviously we can tell that you still follow Iowa State athletics and Iowa State
Yeah.
volleyball, so we're very happy about that. But Victoria, last question. I mean, what does it mean to you being an Iowa State Hall of Famer, and how excited are you to come back this fall to be inducted to the Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame?
It means a whole lot. My family will be proud, my friends would be proud, and I'm proud as well. But again, like I said, I didn't expect it, and it's really nice to feel like everyone still thinks about me and my career there when it feels like it was so long ago. So that is nice to kind of be remembered, and I'm excited to get back and see everyone, see Christy and Joe, and see the new gym that they're going to have in their new space, which is really exciting for them.
Yeah, very exciting times for Iowa State volleyball. Well, Victoria, thank you so much for joining us. We're so happy for you, and we can't wait to see you in the fall.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I can't wait.